Hi Scrapbookers! This is Katie Scott with Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking, a Typepad blog, and this is, I think, number 4 of my dozen-day review, like where I review like 12 scrapbook pages that I've made in the last month. So it is July 2012. When I was little, my parents got divorced, and I lived in Maine before the divorce, where my family has lived since 1706. And then after the divorce, my mother moved us back to Massachusetts, where they were from, also from like the early 1700s. And I found a whole bunch of, like, tangent alert, found a whole bunch of stuff on one of my ancestors, Gideon Hammond Allen, who was the very first person to ever graduate from Amherst University. And there's like a new book about southeastern Massachusetts and the history, and there's all sorts of stuff about my family in there that I need to scrapbook. Anyways, so after the divorce, my dad would come, like, before I could fly, you know, with the little flyer thing. They'd give you the wings, and we would fly Delta Airlines from Boston to Bangor, and I would fly by myself when I was 6, but I think maybe when my sister was too little to do that, we were unaccompanied minors. But before we could be unaccompanied minors, my dad used to drive all the way up to Massachusetts, get us, and then drive us all the way back to Maine. So it was a really long trip. And this was one of the sites that we saw on that trip. And this is the Boston gas tank. And I always loved to see it because it meant we were almost, you know, like it was right at the, you knew you were entering Boston. But I did a Google search about it, and I learned all about Corita Kent, who was the artist and nun who painted those Boston gas tank things. And in each of these little stripes, like that, one of them was an elephant, and then this one was like, oh, I'm gonna get the name wrong, but it was like some kind of Asian dictator. And so then they even, like, I want to say like Ho Chi Minh or something like that, but they changed the nose so it didn't look exactly like him. But she painted those in 1971, and let me tell you what, if you love text and like text design and scrapbooking, check her out, because she did amazing things with text, seriously, and such an improv scrapbooker before her time. But there's some videos that I've linked on my blog all about her. She's like a really fun one to learn about. She was just so cool. This stuff here. So I did this page, Forget It's Scrapped, and the thing was to do stenciling on a page, which I don't typically do. So I used a Crafter's Workshop stencil, and I made the background paper. And in hindsight, I wish I would have used thicker paper, but I've just been running low on white paper. And then I painted this, and this is based on, she did this painting, and it actually became a U.S. postage stamp. So check her out. This is my journaling on the page. And I didn't take these pictures either. I didn't have it, and these gas tanks are actually gone. They're not there anymore. There's some duplicates, but the original ones are no longer there, apparently. So I came across some photos of the colorful Boston gas tanks on Pinterest, and they brought back such vivid memories of my dad driving us from Dartmouth all the way to Calais from 1975 to 1980 in his Oldsmobile. Sometimes we'd stay at the Swiss Chalet and go to the Boston Children's Museum, and the paintings, I've learned, are by super cool artist nun Corita Kent. So there you go. Check her out, Corita Kent. You will, if you're a scrapbooker and you love text design and that kind of thing, you will love her. She was like she was a nun who was like friends with Andy Warhol, and just like a really interesting, they should make a movie about her, for real. Okay, speaking of what you should make a movie about, this is my page about my dreams. And I go to the movies every night in my sleep because I seriously have the most vivid dreams. I think more vivid dreams than most people have. And I remember a lot of my dreams, and they are like epic movies, for real. And I love to talk about my dreams in the morning, but my husband does not love to hear about my dreams in the morning. And he really doesn't dream. And my daughter doesn't really dream either, but my son does. And so we have these like super like long, interesting conversations about our dreams. But I go through each decade of what my dreams were about since I was a baby. So weird. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I just have seriously vivid dreams. So that is a simple page, and this is on, you can find this page at Easy Scrapbook Pages. It's also a Debbie Hodge site, and that's a site where you can just find really easy ways to make scrapbook pages really, really fast. So just like 3 page, some text, couple pictures, couple embellishments, and boom, you're done. But then I've told like this really big part of my life that like I don't have pictures from my dreams. Now that would be weird, right? Anyways, I think that was like 9 or 10. I've got 2 more. This one is, speaking of my dad, this is called 1974, and this is also on Get It Scrapped. And the challenge for this was to make a page highlighting embellishments, small embellishments. So I used each one of the buttons. You can see the buttons. I think they're October Afternoon buttons. And the paper down here is a combination of basic gray, gypsy, and I think that's Jelly Bean Soup, but I'm not for sure. It's my 6x6 papers, and I cut them into tiny little squares and then like made them into a like quilt, and then found that picture, and the little squares in the game reminded me of this, and I thought, oh, I could use the buttons like players or like spaces to just write random things. So I just wrote like, I know this is before the divorce, because not only is my dad wearing his ring, but chances are my mom snapped this picture, and it was in their kitchen. And so after they got divorced, we moved away. And I said, this game looks like Candyland, but it's in fact Winnie the Pooh, which was the same name as my nursery school when I was 4. And then the last one is, I so wish I had a video of this day so I could hear my dad's voice again. Because I do have some videos of him. But they're from when, like, he died when he was 58, right before my daughter was born, and it's hard to understand him because he had a disease like Parkinson's. It was called Shy-Drager syndrome, and so it's hard to hear him, but get what you get. Okay, this is the last one. I haven't put this up on the blog yet, and this one is called Celebrate Life, and like, life is short, right? You don't know if you're going to get Shy-Drager disease and die when you're 58. You just don't know. None of us know that. So I found this quote: celebrate we will, because life is short but sweet for sure. And I think it was actually for certain, but I just didn't have enough time. And that was a Dave Matthews quote. I found it on Pinterest, and I just searched in Pinterest the word celebrate, and this is, I think, Heidi Swapp too. It's like 3 little birds or house of 3 or something like that. But I've just been on this bright colors kick, and then I wanted to offset that with kind of a grayer background paper, and I made this last night while we watched The Bachelorette. And can I just say, on The Bachelorette, she should totally pick Jeff. Convert to Mormonism and move to Salt Lake City. But you know she's going to pick that race car driver, and it's going to last for about 2.5 weeks. So there's my vote on The Bachelorette. I don't think she's going to listen to me. But this is Celebrate Life, and I just found 3 different pictures of different holidays, and I just wrote Christmas, Mother's Day, so I numbered the pictures, and Easter, and I wrote, as the mom, I feel like it's up to me to establish our traditions and celebrations, not only for holidays, but for every day. And I really do feel like that. Like, moms have to keep the traditions going and do all that stuff, but I'm going to make a follow-up page to explain how my husband is perfect for me, because so many times when I fall short on what I'm supposed to be doing with this stuff, he like comes through at the last minute and will like save the day so many times. So I'm going to make a companion page to this that says something like, as the mom, I don't always fulfill my obligation to do the, plan all the celebrations and execute them successfully. So isn't it awesome that Charlie does that? Okay, I'm out of time. Love you, scrapbookers. Bye-bye.